So KZN Premier Sihle Zikalala has resigned. The provincial ANC has accepted the resignation and 3 candidates have been flagged for that position. A new premier will be sworn in once the interviews are completed. For more, I'm now joined by Lukhona Mnguni, political analyst. Lukhona, thank you so much for being patient with us in the world of news. Listen, so let's just recap maybe a little bit here for our viewers and go back a little bit and just talk to us about that embarrassing defeat that Zikalala suffered in the first place at the elective conference.
Well, Tony, a very good afternoon to you and to our eNCA viewers. Yes, I mean, the defeat was quite serious and the margin very large for a provincial conference that was touted to be tightly contested. It demonstrated how much over time the incumbent leadership, both the chairperson and the secretary, had lost the confidence of ANC structures. It also demonstrated just how much those who were contesting them had actually, done the groundwork to earn and gain the confidence of various ANC structures. How that might have been done, whether it was in the correct ways or not, that is neither here nor there. But the outcome really was one that demonstrated a loss of confidence in the incumbent leadership in the province.
How much was it loss of confidence, and how much was it a factional battle between your pro-Zumas and pro-Ramaphosa factions?
Well, there's always that, but remember, it can only find resonance in an environment where you've become weak as a leader. I've always said about KZN, we must differentiate national and provincial interests. I think the provincial elective conference was really an expression of the realignment of issues within the province. If you think about it, the current chairperson, Boniso Duma, is someone who was quite sympathetic to President Ramaphosa leading up to the 2017 and was not really seen as a very pro-Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma person, whereas Tony Ndoro may have been, on that other side. Really, you are seeing a reconfiguration of provincial dynamics, and it's quite curious whether or not, as they hope, that the province of KwaZulu-Natal will not be divided on the national issues going to the December 2022 conference, because, as you know, Tony, they've asserted that they want to make sure that KZN has representation in the top 6 of the national leadership, but they can only achieve that if they are not as divided as they were in the build-up to NASREC 2017, where actually Senzo Mnguni was standing and contesting to be Secretary General on the Ramaphosa ticket.
Okay, so let's fast forward. We're in this particular scenario now. 3 names have been agreed upon by the PEC going forward. Talk to us about those names. You've got the MEC Nomusa Dube-Ncube, ANC MPs as well, Mbali Fraser and Amanda Bani. Who's the stronger of the...
I think... No, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer in terms of who is the stronger of the lot. And I think it's already designed for Nomusa Dube-Ncube to emerge as the premier of the province. You will remember that her name has always been a talking point in the last few provincial elections for her to be considered to be provincial premier, but for some reason she has just never managed. And I think this is an absolute free pass for her to become the next premier of KwaZulu-Natal and finish this current term and hopefully restore the confidence in an ANC-led government in the province, because as you would have seen in the 2021 elections, Tony, the ANC in the local government elections in the province scored just below 50%. They lost the metro of eThekwini, at least in terms of the majority. They are governing there with a coalition arrangement. So it is a moment where the ANC is actually quite weaker in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, a province that took them a long time between 1994 and 2009 to win a majority. So the ANC is not a traditional, dominant party in KwaZulu-Natal. They've had to win support over time. Whether or not the regression that they've experienced in the last few years and as demonstrated in the local government elections will carry, into 2024 stands to be seen. But it's also curious. Some people are asking, why has Boniso Duma not stepped up and availed himself? I do think that he is acutely aware that Nomusa Dube having led in the cooperative governance and traditional affairs portfolio, in the economic development portfolio and environmental affairs, in the now treasury portfolio, she carries a lot of weight, and of course she's served in local government. She's been an ambassador for South Africa to Czech Republic and all of these things. She carries much more clout with the various stakeholders that must be rallied to repair the damage done in KwaZulu-Natal, both by the July unrest of 2021 and the recent floods. And therefore, you need somebody where stakeholders will immediately either gain confidence or at least be somewhat lenient towards gaining confidence. And I don't think that Boniso Duma carries that clout, and he will still have to build it as provincial chairperson of the ANC leading up to 2024.
Okay, Lukhona, thank you so much for your analysis. Great speaking with you. Let's go live now, and I'm sure you'll want to watch this as well, Lukhona, because